think that we've been doing a lot to get noticed. It's a special team. It's a team that is very fun to watch, even more fun to coach. They are spirited. They play with such joy, and they're hungry. So, you know, we always say that complacency is the enemy of success, and I haven't seen complacency yet. So we're going to keep grinding and keep pushing, and haven't done anything yet. And that's our mentality. We haven't done anything yet. It's nice to be 2-0 in the ACC. It's nice that they were both road games. It's nice that we're ranked, but all that can just be a resume. That's not our prize. So we're still grinding towards you know, what we want to be, and we're not there yet.
Katie, I think you alluded to in your opening comments about the attention and the streak and being ranked. How do you contain that excitement? I mean, not only yourself personally, but for your players.
I don't try to. Why contain excitement? I mean, we're excited. We're an excitable team. We're an emotional team. Having a great time together, and we're very businesslike, but we're excited. But we're very businesslike, and we have a game plan, and we think through things. We talk through things. We went through 20 different situations today that I wrote out by hand, and I made 2 mistakes, and they caught me. I mean, that's how businesslike they are. You know, I had it ready. I sat there. It took me probably an hour to do before practice, and both of them caught me. I made 2 mistakes. They're very focused, and that's really fun. And when I made that mistake, we laughed about it and got excited. And I was proud of them for finding it. That's how it goes.
What were the mistakes?
Oh, just the guard post switch in one play that I thought, and then, yeah, she knows exactly, don't give the calls away, don't give the calls away. Just simple stuff. But it's that's the relationship that we have too. You know, when they call me out, I'm like, well, great job. Like, we're all trying to just keep Miami at the top, and we're just trying to stay there. And they came here for that. They came here for the climb. They came here, you know, very personally in a relationship that we all have together to do something very special. And I owe it to them, and they owe it to me, and we all know it.
What's changed, Katie? I mean, just you were at this for a few years, obviously trying to do this thing. Just what?
My hair color has changed. My weight has changed, and the wrinkles have changed. Anything else?
Well, I mean, just to spark what you guys have been able to do. What do you think led to it?
Oh, well, these 2 committed to Miami. When they committed, I knew when we got both of them in the same class along with Sil, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, that's a special class. They're 2 of the better scorers that I saw out on the circuit at all, regardless, sitting next to Gino and Pat, watching the 2 of them, knowing that I thought these 2 were the 2 best scorers that I had seen, and we got them both. And that was a big moment.
Just talk a little bit about having the top 2 scorers in the ACC. How nice is that?
It is nice. You know, it's fun to coach. It's funny because that was a heck of a lot more complicated in my offenses and stuff before, when you were trying to generate a wide-open 6-footer. That was a lot of passes, and a lot of screens, and a lot of time on offense and practice, and a lot of talking, and you know, you couldn't make a mistake. I'm a lot simpler because they're just better. And they can score a pull-up, they can score a 3, they can score an and 1, and they can sneak out underneath in the zone. And so, for me, it's just really fun. It's like a painter with just a blank canvas, and I just get to paint, and it's a riot. I love it.
2 games in 3 days or whatever it is. I mean,
yeah.
that's tough, but I mean, I'm sure I guess you're confident your girls can handle it. You know?
Yeah, you know, we have a different sort of prep this week. We're very half-court today. For that reason, normally we wouldn't have been, but very half-court, very stop and start, and we did a bunch of review and stuff today, just knowing that the turnarounds, we're not going to have time to focus a lot on Miami and after today. So we had to do it today.
Talk about how these 2 sort of complement each other. You guys can add in.
They're very different people. They really are, but there's so much, and I'll talk over them, and I'm sure they'll share, but they have such a great relationship. You know, we say fire and ice, and it's funny because you have this explosive player on the basketball court, and this very composed player on the basketball court. Flip that off the court.
Really?
She's a little bit more explosive and emotional, whatever, and she's a lot more calm. And it's just a great, but they're so themselves. They're 2 of the most authentic people I've ever had the pleasure to come across, let alone coach. Just people, just authentic. They are who they are, they're very honest, and you can trust them. And they come through, in different ways and different things. And so I'll shut up, because they're more impressive than me. They really are.
Mike?
Oh, really shut up.
Talk about how you guys, personality-wise and maybe playing-wise,
I mean,
how you
just
fit together so well.
coming from high school, you was always like the best player. You roll into college, you got somebody as good or if not better than you. It's been a great experience watching her grow individually on and off the court. But she takes the pressure off me. I'm allowed to have a bad game. You know, I'm allowed to blow up. I'm allowed to do these things, and I know Riquna's gonna have my back. It's just been really, really easy. It's been really easy. It hasn't been hard at all. It's been fun, and I love her. I love her with all my heart. I love her with all my heart, and I wouldn't rather play with anybody else in the country. Can't follow that.
Pretty much the same thing. Like, our love has grown. Like, coming in as freshmen, we didn't know each other. We kind of bump heads a little, you know, like, a lot. But now, it's like the sister love. Today she was struggling a little bit in practice, and she came to me and told me she needed me. And it touched me, like, because I'm always going to her and be like, Mo, like, I need you. So it was like the table turns, and I was able to get in the head, so she kind of changed it a little bit.
I guess for both of you, why Coach Meier? Why University of Miami? Why did you want to come here and be a part of the rise?
Me personally, I didn't want to sit behind the All-American. I wanted to become All-American, so I have people sitting behind me.
It's true.
So I saw it, and I wanted to stay close.
Try topping that. Yeah.
I'm definitely not close to home. I mean, we both came here for the same reason. We wanted to be pioneers. You know, we wanted to start our own thing. And I think we're doing that here. And I personally think Coach Meier is one of the best coaches, if not one of the best women I've ever met in my life. She's helped me off the court more, and it's really helped me on the court. She's developing us as women. She's building our character, and she's really making us better individual basketball players. And you're not finding that anywhere else in the country. It's mostly people who basketball. It's not all about basketball with Coach Meier, and that's something that I really bought into.
Coach, you know, great players make the players around them better. How have they helped the supporting cast rise to their level of play?
That's a great question. That's a really great point. To be honest, you know, when I'm not recruiting like a post player to play with them, like, can you catch the ball on a dump off and make a layup? Because that's what you get to do your freshman year. So like a Morgan Stroman didn't have to do a whole heck of a lot her freshman year to get playing time besides seal opposite the penetration, catch the ball and put it in, and she got confident and then she extended her game. But they take so much pressure off a young player. You don't have to do a whole heck of a lot to be open or to score or to have success. Even to get an offensive rebound, there's 3 people rotating to them. So you could, then Stroman's getting double-doubles, and it's like, well, you should. You really should. You're wide open to get that offensive rebound. So and it's great and everything, Morgan, but you should. And that's, we were very honest, very authentic in meetings and in film. We don't care about each other's feelings. The feeling is we really hurt when we lose. So we're going to take care of all that hurt and be very honest with each other.
Let's talk last year. I know the girls are ranked. Just how different is the games against opponents when you are ranked and teams are coming after you?
You know what, I don't really feel that difference. I still don't think, I mean, we're still like, shh, people don't know. I still feel that way. That's what we said going in, they were like, shh, don't tell them. Like, we definitely are fine with it. We still think that the people are still saying, well, who they beat and what they got, you know. I still think they're still, not everyone's not sold on us yet. And there's reason not to be sold on us, but there's a heck of a lot of reasons to be sold on us, and we know who we are, and we don't really care about opinions.
Katie, these, like I just observed today, 2 personalities. One here that's serious and light at the same time. And I saw you out there banging with some of the girls, pushing
I
the
think
girls.
they call it manic.
Sorry.
The term for that is manic. It's a psychological term.
So is it psychological? I mean, I see you pushing out there, and here it's different. And...
Oh, yeah, I don't think it's easy to play for me. I think that I have a mind that's constantly on, and it's up, down, all around, a bunch of thoughts at one time. Sometimes I go to speak and I trip over my tongue because I had 3 thoughts at once. And you have to have a sense of humor. You have to get the jokey side of me in order to be relaxed around me, or I'm a little too intense. That definitely is something that they have in common. It's like today, I'm just walking and I trip, and these two, they aren't gonna miss that. I just trip over nothing. You know, like, watch the line, and she's like, saw that. Like, it's just, that's the ebb and flow of it. I mean, as bad as I feel for them, imagine working for me. I mean, it's even worse. But that's who I am. And I grew up in a huge family. You know, I'm the youngest of 8, and I never had a quiet time. I had to sit on the toilet to read a book to study because that was the only quiet spot in my house. So I'm just not used to anything but commotion. And if you can't ride that train with me, it's difficult.
I guess ACC home opener anyway for you guys. Do you feel, I mean, it's a tough sports town to get attention in.
Mm-hmm.
Feel like you gotta keep this thing going now to...
If you want to come watch us, come watch us. If, you know, I mean, really, we're a lot of fun. These are 2 amazing kids. We don't judge ourselves by who decides whether or not to come. We appreciate it. We're here to support and everything else, but I'm not going to go out there and not think we're good because there's not enough people in the stands. We're having a great time, and I'm enjoying it. I would pay money to watch these 2 and my team play. I would pay a lot of money to watch them, and instead I get paid to do it. So you know, we're not going to get hung up on that. I don't know about these guys, but that's how I feel. We got some really good fans that are awesome, and they're having fun at the games.
How do you guys feel about that? I mean, you know, I guess it's not really that big a crowd, but you do have your hardcore group of fans. Can you talk about that?
I mean, you don't play any harder or any less. If there's one person out there, you still don't give a show. If there's 3 people out there, you're going to give a show. So, I mean, it doesn't matter. Same.
What do you think it's going to take to get people in Miami to be more aware? College basketball in general.
Bad weather?
And this team.
Miami. So many things to do.
If you don't come and watch us, we can't save you. I really feel that way. If you don't want to see this team play, you're never going to come. You're never going to come. That's how I feel. Because this is a very fun team. I mean, we get a ton of possessions. They dive on the floor. They high five. They sprint to timeouts. They hug each other. They jump in the air. I mean, they have such a flair and such a joy. If you're a sports fan at all, you're going to want to just get caught up in it.
It's still obviously an obstacle when you're recruiting kids. I mean, when other schools obviously had more of a fan base or bigger following, how did you talk to them about that, or did they not even care about the crowds or anything of that nature? No.
She wanted to stay home. So. I mean, it didn't matter to me. I came in for my team and for my coaches.
But when ACC rolls around, we tend to get a little bit more of an attendance, and I think it's just the energy. The energy in the building does matter. I don't mean to discount. The fans mean a lot to us. The energy in the building means a lot to us. But I would rather have 1,000 or 500 high energy people than 2,000 people that are here on some promotion that aren't into my team. Honest to God. So I like people that are watching and engaged and ready to go because it's really fun. It's a really fun team to cheer for.
What are some keys for tomorrow night?
Well, rebounding is always a key with us. And, you know, I talk about that a lot. Our philosophy and the way that we can steal the basketball, sometimes we will get out rebounded, but if we got rebounded but we stole the ball 18 times, there weren't a lot of rebounds to have. Okay, so if you come down the court and you had the ball and suddenly you don't have the ball, and you're playing Miami, we did something good. So I don't get caught up in the rebounding thing because perhaps you threw the ball out of bounds, or perhaps our pressure got to you, or perhaps we stole it. So you might out-rebound us, but did you out-possession us on the offensive end? So we get a little bit more concerned about that. But I think it would be a very physical game, and we're going to have to battle.
Katie, all the success you had at Duke, did that prepare you, if you look back, if you had to look back, for this run, what this team is doing right now? Because basketball there is a lot bigger than it is here, and you were in the midst of all that at one time.
Well, yeah, but I think that the fact that my background has a lot of firsts, a lot of breakthroughs, a lot of, you know, Duke had never been to the NCAA, and I got there as a player, you know, and then I went to Tulane, and they'd never been to the NCAA, and I got there as an assistant coach. I went to Charlotte, and they'd never been, and I got there as a head coach. So there's a lot of firsts, there's a lot of, you know, building, a lot of grinding in my personality, and what, so I think that background helps in terms of the program. And then in terms of these two, truly understanding how they feel with the pressure. You know, I did lead, you know, scoring good points, and she did that she led in almost every category her freshman year. She walked in here and was leading steals, points, you know, and I understood it because I'd been there before. we had a very similar experience, so I could share it. So I think those two, whenever I can use something from my background to help them, to empathize with them, to get them through something, I'll use it. But the success at Duke is long gone. I mean, success at Miami would be what I'm very proud of right now.
You guys are obviously first place in the league. Just have you had a chance to?
Oh, yeah? Oh, sure.
You had a chance to like really study the other teams, and have you gotten a feel yet for?
Yeah, it's 2 games. Yeah, it's 2 games. I mean, it's 2 road games. Those really are nice to have in the bank. But, if you talk to me on February 28th and we're first in the league, then I'll reflect. It's 2 games.
I guess just your impressions of watching the other teams, how they've done so far up to now.
I've watched Clemson now. Like, I'm really focused. My staff gets ahead of it a little bit and gets the scouts ready, but I'm truly, truly 1 game at a time. Very focused.
Can you guys elaborate on how you bumped heads early on?
I mean, we come from different backgrounds, you know.
Uh-huh.
I was a star, she was a star. We didn't really mesh. You know, I wanted to get up my shot, she wanted to get up her shots. We had to understand that we were here for a common goal. You know, and maturity and growth, it came along with it. And that's why we're sitting here today, you know, #1 in the ACC.
How did you guys talk through that? Did you talk through that?
I mean, I'm more like a hyper type of player. And I'm like calm, relaxed. I don't know.
Pretty.
Yeah.
I think that summer after your freshman year, you guys, I think there's times like the downtime now when you're in January and you're not at class and they don't, the team spends more time together, and those moments are summer session where there's a little less pressure. I think that's what I've seen.
Freshman year, after we lost, no, was it WNIT or was it freshman year after we lost? The individual players.
Lost a lot freshman year. Which game?
Oh, it was after the season, postseason.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that's when it was like,
when we came at you really hard.
Yeah.
We
I
had a
think
very
that's-
disappointing season, and we went after these 2 really hard, told them they were the future of the program, and they spent a lot of time together in the weight room and on the track, and struggling, just personally getting to their breaking points and then coming through together stronger. Yeah, you're right, that was it.
How did you come after them? You said you gotta do.
Sent the weight coach after them, really.
Yeah.
No, there was a lot of conditioning, a lot just, are you committed enough to this program? Do you know what it takes to be great? Greatness is something we talk about a lot. I've said this about these 2. They're very curious to be great. They're very curious. Sometimes they'll see what it takes to be great, and not so much lately, but their freshman year, they would see what it takes, and then they'd analyze whether or not it was worth their effort. And so they were curious about it, but they wouldn't just go straight at it. So that's a lot of our conversations have been, you're avoiding greatness, you're slipping through it, you're not trying to go straight at it. And now they want to know, you tell them what it is, they go straight after it.
So do you guys remember some of those sessions? It's a lot of work. Weight room, running, what were you doing?
we don't have our same strength and conditioning coach.
But what was a really taxing day? Can you remember an example of how hard it was?
The weights, the circuit, like the 15 different exercises we had to do. It's just no break. I mean, conditioning, 22s. I don't even think I finished that day.
What's 22s?
I can't give our secrets.
Oh.
But it's, if you invest in a bank account with money and you invest in a program with sweat, and they had to show that they were invested. They just had to put it in, and they did.
Coach's teams, I mean, what, you got 4 juniors, I think, no seniors, relatively young. I mean, that shows you're really building something.
Yeah.
So, you talk about that, just put the periscope up and looking at the track that this thing is on.
Yeah, I want to entertain that with you. I do think we're going to be in a nice little run here but really, I'm on Clemson, like I really am. So maybe 2 o'clock in the morning when I wake up, I might think about that a little bit. Oh yeah, we got Pepper sitting out. We got kids coming in. And you get excited, but then I just bring myself right back to Clemson.
But I mean, at some point, you had to have a vision for the way you wanted this program to go. So I'm going to guess you're on that path.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, and then if you want me to think 3 years ahead, then I'm going to start losing sleep because these 2 won't be here. So, don't do that to me, please. Don't do it. I'm going to be in the moment and very focused.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you.